just being cautious and things of that nature, which
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. But we've taken a different approach to our business because I needed to scale it faster so I could replace my income and then eventually my wife's income when she left corporate work as
Yeah.
well.
Hopefully people that are listening will learn a little bit about how to build a business around. I mean, sometimes people do it from necessity because you have some health issues in your family or whatever. I know you've had some of those issues, but whether you have those issues or not, it's just important to forget that the tail's not wagging the dog, right? Where it's so easy for us to get into business and put everything into that and neglect everything else, family, health, all kinds of other things. Why we got into the business in the first place was freedom. And then sometimes that all gets thrown out the door because we're just stuck living deal to deal because we haven't really scaled our business. But why don't you kind of tell us a little about your backstory and kind of when you left corporate America and jumped into real estate?
Okay. Yeah. My backstory, a shortened version. I spent some time in the military. I was in the Marine Corps, got out, went overseas, contracted over there in IT stuff for a few years. Came back and I worked for a pharmacy software company. Did everything from development and training to administration. When I left, I was the VP of IT. I was there for about 10 years. Opportunity came as a good time for me to transition. Had some health stuff going on with my kids and moved. Thought a consulting job would be a better fit. So I did information security consulting for a little while. Worked for a great company, amazing coworkers. But as my kids' health stuff got worse, I just wasn't able to commit 40 hours to them.
Yeah.
And that wasn't fair to them to ask them to. They probably would have let me go part-time if I wanted, but that wasn't fair to them or the clients. So about 3 years ago, I, along with my wife, decided I would go full-time into real estate investing, knowing that at that point it was going to be less than 40 hours. So that's kind of how I got into full-time investing. I'd invested, I don't know, 3 or 4 years before that part-time, a little bit of flipping, a little bit of rentals, but nothing major up until then.
Yeah. Yeah. What's interesting is, and I've been investing for like 12 years now, full time. And I hadn't really started talking about this until recently because I've always been a little bit down on corporate America because I worked so hard to kind of climb the ladder and just kept getting fired or company files bankruptcy or things like that. I was kind of down on corporate America, but the truth is I definitely owe some of my success, and we're going to talk about scaling here and kind of the case for scaling, I think a little bit, is some of the success to taking some of the lessons you learned, good, bad, or ugly, out of corporate America to just a corporate structure and the importance of systems and processes. And obviously you're a software guy, so I know you believe in that anyway, but kind of applying those lessons learned to a small business, which honestly needs to run just as if it's a Fortune 500 company. You don't have those same resources. You don't have those big teams, but it's still a business that needs to have that structure in place, right?
Yeah, the fundamentals still need to be there. You still have to have the good foundation.
Yep.
And that software company I worked for is a family company, and they were very strong. They grew very well, but and I don't mean this in a bad way, but they would wait until they absolutely really had to hire somebody before they would, because just being cautious and things of that nature, which nothing wrong with that. But we've taken a different approach to our business because I needed to scale it faster. So I could replace my income and then eventually my wife's income when she left corporate work as well.